What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Simulation for the Nation, and welcome back to a dark evening on Oakfield Farm, where this evening we are still up on the hill in Field 19. We've got on very well actually. We've been doing covered a lot of ground this evening and this afternoon. We're currently just refilling with some fertilizer before we head out and take on the headlands really in this field. So let's see how we're looking here. As you can see here, we're at the south end of the field. Had to bring the loader back over just to allow us to actually get this fertilizer filled up. I'm gonna have to just move the telehandler a touch, though, I do believe. We've made some really good ground actually. We did have to bring the Fent in with the discs on just to give some of the ground a bit of a workover. The chopped straw wasn't really processing and being kind of mulched in as much as perhaps I would have liked. So because of that, we had to we got Barry to bring up the discs and gave it a bit of a work in, which really did help a little bit, I must admit. So it's good to see that we're making some very good progress now. We're just filling up. We didn't quite have enough seed or fertilizer in the tanks to get us around the headland, so that's what we're going to take care of now, and we should be good to go. I'll put most of this bag in here as well. Lovely stuff. That's that done, so we'll jump out and we'll go and just hook the telehandler out the way. As you can see, it's a beautiful clear night. The moon is almost full and the stars are out in full force as well, which might lead us to having a little bit of our first frost tomorrow perhaps. We'll have to see how that comes around. Hopefully not, because I'm hoping that it's going to stay dry tonight, that we can get some of the last of the beans harvested, so that's going to be tomorrow's task, all being well. So we'll leave that there. Best turn the lights off actually. That's better. Okay, so yeah, we're going to plug on here. I'm just going to bring up my GPS map so you can kind of see how our progress is going so far. We've covered the whole field. We've just got the headlands to do, which shouldn't take us too long really. We should get it finished inside the next couple of hours, which would be good. It's a nice big field to get ticked off the list, and then tomorrow I think we'll have Barry push through field 21 as well. That's been ploughed over, and it's all bar the headlands have been worked down with the power harrow as well. So that's good. So we're going to keep cracking on this evening. There's not a lot that you guys are actually able to see here. It's a little bit dark, but we will just keep pushing through. I have been reliably informed now as well that we can expect to see our new John Deere arriving tomorrow, which will be great. So it'll be nice to have that arrive. It's been configured. They put the final few touches onto the configurations of the CB radio and aerial have been attached. So that's really nice. Really good to see that be ready to rock and roll for us first thing in the morning. But for now, we're going to keep pushing through here. We'll get this all drilled in. If the weather does change over the next few days, then I'm not too concerned, because we'll have it in the ground, and then we can look at moving on after that. So yeah, we're making some good progress here so far today. More so than I anticipated at the beginning, which is always ideal. But yeah, it's nice to have a 9-meter drill in this instance, because we really can kick on and cover some good ground here. So this is exactly what we'll do. We'll continue, we'll push through and get these headlands wrapped up, and then we'll head back to the yard. Tomorrow morning we'll bring you back along for the ride, where hopefully we'll be into some beans and we'll be able to get those wrapped up pretty quickly. So we'll see you tomorrow. Well, good morning everybody, welcome back. We are in our new chariot. Well, we're just about to be in our new chariot. It arrived about 2 hours ago, just in time for it to be hooked onto a Bailey's trailer. We're going to finish off some beans this morning, and just to get things out of the way with, because I want to spend a bit of time in this John Deere before David gets his hands on it. I've got my dad in the combine. He is already going. We've got some good conditions this morning. Actually, the beans are very dry, so we're not going to waste any time. He is away there already, so we will go in, lead off him for the rest of the day. I'm not sure what to expect in terms of the yield. Haven't really checked it. It seemed a little bit light when I got over there, but we'll have a look-see. So hopefully this shouldn't take us too long to wrap this up, and then finally we can say that combining is done for the year in late autumn, and the combine goes back into the shed, not to be seen for about 7 or 8 months. That being said, you know, it's nice to get it all done, and I do miss it. But like I say, we're going to take that out of the John Deere now, go for a spin, see how it handles. Hopefully we'll make a few trips. That means that the yield's doing alright, but we'll never know. Barry is away this morning with the drill. He got started about 2 hours ago as well. So he's making some nice ground. So we'll head on up to the field and we'll see what's going on, and then we'll have a look-see. Maybe have a ride around with Dad, the combine as well. But we'll yeah, I'll catch you all up in the field once we get away there, and we'll see how this little new machine performs. So we opted to take the 6230R, not quite as big as the machine we had in demonstration. That was 6250R chipped, so that was, I think that had in excess of 270 horsepower, something crazy like that. We here have just 230, which is more than enough for the size of the tractor. It's about 65 more than the case Puma had that we sold out. So it should foresee us moving forward, give us a lot of power for everything we need to do. So that's going to be a good move for us. Very happy with it. This one is brand new. Had not even an hour on the clock when we took it this morning, so that's really nice. It's a nice little machine for us to have on the farm. Front linkage, PTO on the front as well as the back, obviously. So it's going to lend itself to a whole array of different tasks over the coming months and years. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what we do with this in terms of what tasks it'll take on. This has the ability to pull the drill if we need to. It can definitely pull the smaller combination drill we have, and it may well get stuck onto that depending upon how it goes. Now currently we do have quite a sizable amount of capital left in the bank account. I'm currently trying to assess our different options here. I would like to upgrade our cultivation systems. Right now we have an old set of discs pulling a set of rollers behind, which are okay, but they're a little bit unreliable at times. So if we could find something that could maybe replace for that, that could be a good option. Alternatively, perhaps we have to look into I don't know, maybe some more land acquisition could be a smart move if we can afford some, but we'll have to see. So we're keeping our options open, and we'll see what we can find in terms of the different options and availabilities. But for right now, all that I'm really keen on is ensuring that we get this field of beans finished and cleared, and then we've got a few fields of arable land up here we can really work on. Oh, that's where I'm going in here. We've got this little block that we'll get around there. We'll probably put into, I think there's going to be some canola coming up here. So we'll have to see. We're a little bit late on the train to get this into canola, so we might put it into barley and then put it into canola next year. I think will be a better option. But you know, always like to assess all the different options and see what's going on. First priority is always get these beans cleared. What we might do as well is come up here later on in the plough actually and work up here once we get this done. That could be a smart option just to see how we get this all cleared. Normally a lovely view over the valley. Today not so much. It is a little bit cloudy today. Not a lot out there that we can see. This mist is slowly burning away. It's certainly not as cold as it was at about 8 o'clock this morning. But yeah, it's just taking its time. So Dad should be in here. He's been going for a little while, as I mentioned. Should take a couple of headlands off by now at least. And it looks like he's over in the far corner there. Now it's a little bit of a concern that at this stage the lights aren't even on, and he's nearly finished his second headland. Oh, maybe the lights are on just there. So that means he's over 3/4 of a tank load, which is what we want to see when he's this far through. It's not a particularly big block of beans, I must say. I think it's about a little over 10 acres, not a great deal more. Oh no, they're not on at all. I think we're going to have quite a slow, light yield from this field here, but we'll get them emptied anyway. Let's put this auger back in. Get it back out, Dad. That's better. Just get him to stop there. He likes that combine. He's been sitting in that a lot this autumn, but he's doing well with it. We'll have to see how far we go. What we will do now though is we're just going to jump out, lift that up, open my door, just have a look, see how these beans are coming in. There's not a lot there at all. Not a lot. I'm going to have to move out of the way and we'll come back and test that. There we go, just managed to scrape away before him. But yeah, this is a nice little field, so he's going to keep working his way through here. really don't foresee it's going to get much more than a trailer load off of here, if I'm brutally honest, which is going to be a bit disappointing. They did have quite a cold spring when they were established, when they were drilled, so their establishing rate was a little bit slower than perhaps I would like. But yeah, this was a bit of a trial really to see how the beans went, see if it was worthwhile or justifiable to put them in again in a bigger extent. At the moment though, it looks like perhaps not. We'll have to see how they how the final yields, what the verdict is with the final yields when they do come in. Ultimately though, now if we have a look at them, there might be a couple of ton in the back here. Yeah, we may have about 6 to 7 ton in there perhaps. Not a great deal, a little bit disheartening, but hey, we'll see. But ultimately, yeah, it's a nice day just to kind of break the tractor in really. We don't want to do anything too strenuous with it just yet. It is rather slow going at the moment, so what I think we'll do, I'm going to empty the combine once more. David's down at the yard anyway, so I'll take this John Deere down. He can then come and take over from me on here carting. I want to go away and do something else. We might come up here with a Fendt actually and start a bit of ploughing. Whilst it's nice and dry, we'll get some of this ground turned over, I think. David today, Barry, beg your pardon, today, as you can see, he's in field 21. He's drilling some more wheat down there, so it'd be nice to get that one all finished up. And then once we're done there, everything that's kind of ploughed at the moment is done. Field 20 will be going into a cover crop for now. Not field 20, sorry, field 12 will be going into a cover crop until spring, where we'll get some spring barley put into there. And then field 41 is drilled, field 21 will be drilled, so it's only really this block of land on the hill that we'll be coming up to next, so I should really get ahead and get some ploughing done whilst I can. But what we'll do first off, we'll just race up behind Dad here and we'll get another load out of the back of the tanker. It's nice and dry at least, there's a good level of straw coming off the back there as well. It's just not much in terms of a yield, it doesn't look like. Yeah, we're not going to get too much in here, no. Well, with that, we'll take this one back down to the yard anyway. And we'll tip this into the bins, get David to swap out, because I know he's itching to have a go here. But yeah, and then we can get on with some actual groundwork again whilst it's dry. We'll strike while the iron is hot. We are going to be doing a little bit of winter ploughing, where we're going to plough over, I think we're going to plough over field 45. And we'll plough over this field we're in now as well, as soon as we're finished in here. Now field 3 might be left for winter ploughing just to do its thing over the winter months, and then we'll see what we can do in the springtime. I think that's going to be our best bet for there. Now one of the advantages of winter ploughing is that when you're ploughing over particularly hard and heavy ground, you plough it over and you leave it for the elements, so for the frost and for the wind and the sun to kind of break up that heavy ground a little bit. So it's like having a natural cultivator really. And so when you do come in to drill it in the spring, it drills a lot easier. It takes less to work over really. Now of course we might look to acquire a few more fields or some land elsewhere. If we do, then we'll leave it for that as well. But yeah, that's a long way down the line. We need to think about that one first. For now we just need to take this back to the yard. David will be waiting for us, we'll jump into the Fendt and we'll make a game plan from there. So we will catch up with you again in a different colour green. My, she does like a drink. Good lord, it takes a lot to fill this beast up in the morning. Heavens above. I know it's a big machine and it caters for about the output of 2 smaller tractors that I could have had, but its expenses to keep it running are quite high. Whilst that's filling up, this is the cultivator I was talking about. Now this is quite an old set really. We've had this on the farm for years and years. And it's starting to look a little bit frail in places, and the connection there, the hitch doesn't work all that well. So it's something that we are thinking about trying to swap out if we can. I'm still looking for a good replacement though, so at the moment it's not going to go anywhere. But yeah, that's one thing on our mind. We always like to keep our equipment looking good and working well. so it's not always easy, but everything is kept under storage and is well serviced. But there comes a time where the old equipment just needs to be pulled out and replaced. So yeah, that's what we're thinking about with that, and we might get to that stage at some point. But for now, we've just been blowing down the air filters in the vent. Checked the AdBlue levels as well, topped those up, topped up the diesel. So now we're kind of ready to get out of here. So we'll pull that down. Start up the beast, and we're good to go. We do have slatted moldboards on the back of our plough here. Now that's helping us. Some of our land dictates that once it sticks a little bit too much to some of the heavier soil we have around here if we had regular moldboards on. So that's why we've opted to go for the slatted moldboards. It does just help turn the furrow over a little bit better. And that silage is slowly being used up as well. We're into the silage now rather than the silage pit, although I think we're going to break open the pit this week and start using that in the feeder. We're just going to take this long, slow way around. I haven't been down this track for a while, so it's nice to see if everything's alright and in its place where it should be. And then we'll just take a beeline straight up on top of the hill. Field we're going into isn't, if I bring up my map again, field 45 at the top. That's quite big. It's probably about 20-25 acres all in. Maybe 20-23. But yeah, we'll start ploughing that today at least, get it turned over, and then we'll make a decision. Just had a quick chat with Barry. He is flying at the moment, absolutely flying. So I don't need to be too concerned with him. So he'll get that field finished where he is now, and then he's got a field of cover crop to do. Oh, there we go, lovely. And once he's finished his cover crop, he's going to come and probably join me up on the hill there, I think. So yeah, lots to do. As always, we'll keep ploughing through, quite literally, pardon the pun. And we'll see how we can get on. But yeah, ultimately very pleased that this today is holding out for us. It was quite crucial that it did, I think, really, to allow us to get pushed on. Which we're doing fine now. Oh, got my rear LED on as well. That's better. The sun's got a bit of an evil glare to it today, though, I must say. I mean, you see a great deal of what's going on at all. I must admit, for its size, this and the speed we're going here, this has got a 60k box in it. There is little tractor as comfortable as this one. I think even those fast track boys would have a tough time trying to defend this. Although its price does. The price tag on this thing does stick out quite some way. But yeah, as you can see, it's starting to really clear up now. We are due to get a lot of rain on the horizon, actually. So any ground that we do drill, we're going to have to get drilled pretty quickly, because it's going to come in pretty hard from what I can understand. So that's not ideal, but again, there's not a lot we can do about that. So Dad and David are just over the couple of hedges there, really cracking on now. It's not going to be much more than an hour or so until Dad's finished up there, so we'll have to see how he gets on. For now though, I'm going to just get myself set up in the field, get working away, and then we'll come back and have a bit of a summary when we get going. Well, here we are folks, we're up and running. There's quite a bit of trash on the surface here that we're slowly burying and turning over. Plough's doing a grand job of burying all. There's very little sticking up here still actually, so we could just go straight in with the drill actually, because it's quite light on the surface at the moment. Shouldn't take much to break down. So we'll have a look at that one. At the moment though, like I say, the plough's working its wonders. And just over the hill there, we can't quite see it. But we have got Dad just about to finish up in the spring beans. Let's get the drone out there. Ping this up in the air. Yeah, in fact he's almost on the last pass there. A little bit tied up in the corner, which is great news. So we're going to continue. We're going to get this all wrapped up here today, all being well, and we'll have plenty to keep going at over the course of the coming few days. Hopefully if we can get this finished up by the end of the week, that'll be ideal. So it'll give us today, Thursday, Friday, to get this all wrapped in. And then we're not sure what the weather's going to do, so we'll have to keep an eye on it from there on in. Now, as I'm about to start the ends properly, I need to give myself plenty of space to get There we go. Give myself plenty of space to turn around in here. As the plough folds up. There is a brick wall running all the way down through that hedge there, so it does kind of limit how sharp I can turn and how close to the hedge line I can get. And then down we go. And those two should join in. Lovely stuff. So yeah, very happy we made the decision to upscale to this plough. As I mentioned there, we are going to be looking into the prospect at least of upgrading or increasing our land once again this winter, hopefully for some spring ploughing. So we'll see what we can do there. As always, we're never quite sure until we can have a good look around to see what's available. But yeah, we'll see what we can do. I may well look at trying to find some more grassland close to the home and then ploughing in the field that we have of grass just over these trees here. That might be the best solution, I think, because this is a little bit far away when you have to consider leading bales to and fro. But yeah, that's something we'll look into. If it's the case, we'll get some Roundup out onto that field sooner or later. We need to, once we're finished with the grain, hauling with the John Deere there, we'll put some narrowed tyres onto, we've got some row crops ordered in, so we're going to have to start bringing those out soon, because some of our rapes really shot up through the ground, and that's going to need some post-emergent nitrogen on there, and we're going to have to keep an eye out to see how the pigeons are reacting to it, because if they're going to start to jump out and about and be a bit, cause us some havoc, then we might have to take some action there as well. But ultimately, yeah, we've come through the worst of the weather this autumn, and we've come out not smiling, but we're not upset. Let's put it that way. We still have yet to sell all of our grain off that's in the silos, and some of it's going to have to be tickled through the dryer once more. So you might get a video of us doing that at some stage. But we will see. Hopefully it's not going to take too much to run through it, and then we can get it actually sold off in the not too distant future, which would be delightful. But until then, yeah, we'll just have to. It's safe, it's in the silo, and it's relatively dry. That's about all that one can ask for. But for now, we're going to keep pushing through. We're making some nice steady progress here. I've got the rest of the day to try and cover the remaining probably about 20 acres. Get this all buried over there, and then we'll get David to come up and join me. So until then, we will leave it here. It's been a little bit of a shorter one, but it is just a chance for us really to kind of give you a bit of a summary of what we're doing really everywhere. Harvest is about done, so we can celebrate that one. Combine can go back into the barn for another year. We'll live to fight another day. So we will continue. As always, thank you very much for watching, and what has been a short little update, but I have been Simulation for the Nation, and if you have enjoyed this, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and hit that subscribe as well if you're new to the family. And don't forget to drop a comment down below detailing where you're from, if you are new, of course, because we do like to welcome you all in and find out where you're all watching from. And so we will see you in the next one. So thank you ever so much for watching. I have been Simulation for the Nation. You have been wonderful for sticking with us. And until next time, please do remember to stay safe, enjoy what you're doing, but most importantly, as always, happy farming.